We live in a strange contradiction. We routinely broadcast our most intimate desires to thousands of strangers online, yet we physically hide the act itself behind locked bedroom doors and drawn blinds. For the vast majority of our history, this level of physical secrecy didn't exist. Our prehistoric ancestors lived communal lives that were effectively an open book. In a world where home was a shared cave or a massive longhouse, internal walls were non-existent. Physical privacy was a luxury the environment simply didn't provide. Our modern insistence on absolute sexual privacy evolved as a social construct, layered onto our history long after our biological foundations were set. We do have some biological leanings toward discretion. Unlike chimpanzees, who mate publicly within the troop, humans have concealed ovulation. Early humans likely sought out quiet corners for a very practical reason, avoiding the immediate drama and competition of the tribe. But how did a simple urge to avoid a fight escalate into centuries of societal panic, feelings of deep shame, and architectural lockdown? The extreme walls of modern privacy weren't built to accommodate our biology. They were built by societal systems to maintain order. The first shift began 12,000 years ago during the Neolithic era, when humans stopped wandering and committed to the land. With agriculture came accumulated land and livestock, making inheritance a high-stakes game. To protect assets, society gate-kept sex. Paternity became private property. Knowing a child's exact lineage became a critical financial record, ensuring resources stayed within a specific bloodline. The first walls surrounding the human bedroom were built from economics and inheritance laws. As civilizations grew, organized religions and states recognized that controlling reproduction was the most effective way to manage a population. Sex, once viewed as a natural force like the weather, was rebranded as a sin of the flesh. By moving the act into the shadows, it became a behavior that could be monitored and judged. This reached a peak during the 16th century civilizing process. Previously normal public behaviors, like nakedness or eating with your hands, were suddenly labeled as indecent. By tethering sex to a sense of shame, society built a psychological barrier that governed behavior more effectively than any physical wall. Architecture eventually made these boundaries physical. Even the first permanent farming structures were essentially one-room studios shared by entire extended families. For millennia, communal sleeping was the norm. Into the Middle Ages, travelers routinely shared large beds at inns, and entire households slept in one room. The 17th century brought the birth of the specialized bedroom. People finally separated where they slept from where they hosted guests or prepared food. By the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution made cities crowded and chaotic. To escape the grime, the middle class turned the home into a private fortress. This was the Victorian lockdown. The home became a sacred space, and sex became a topic so private it was essentially unspeakable. Physical walls finally matched the era's economic and moral codes, creating the hush-hush culture we still navigate today. Today, the internet is acting as a wrecking ball to those rigid Victorian structures. dating apps and open digital forums have brought human sexuality back into the communal conversation, making it more visible than it has been in centuries. We are in a state of high transparency online, even while we keep our physical bodies isolated behind locked doors. The digital era is effectively a new version of the prehistoric village square, eroding the psychological walls of shame built by our ancestors. We seem to be circling back to our biological baseline, a drive to connect openly, tempered only by the practical need to avoid conflict. It raises a question: is this digital shift a loss of civility, or is it a return to the communal transparency of our ancestors? The closed-door era appears to be a historical outlier, a phase triggered by ancient property laws and now being rewritten by modern code.